Hi guys! For my research project, I chose blood flow restriction training. This is becoming a hot topic within the physical therapy and fitness realm, so I thought I'd see what it was about. For my project, I will be mainly focused on the physical therapy aspect. So what is BFR? Blood flow restriction training is a training technique that involves using cuffs placed around the limbs to create vascular occlusion, or the process of decreasing blood flow to the muscles being used. BFR is most typically used with resistance training, but can be used for something as simple as walking. These BFR programs help promote muscle hypertrophy and growth. Here are some other pictures of what the compression sleeves look like. You can see in them where they are being placed on the limbs. In one picture, it's being placed on the upper leg, and on the other, it looks as though they are going to place it on the upper arm. The main goal of BFR training is to have increased muscle hypertrophy. Because the cuffs limit venous return, there is a greater accumulation of metabolites in the muscle that helps with protein synthesis. BFR training is able to target fast-twitch muscle fibers. These are recruited last during muscle contractions and are mostly anaerobic, meaning they don't use oxygen. These are the opposite of the slow-twitch muscle fibers, which are recruited first in muscle contractions and are aerobic. Because BFR training restricts the amount of blood, the muscles are forced to recruit the fast-twitch fibers at a much lower intensity because there is not as much oxygen available. The studies show across the board that there is a positive correlation with BFR and improved strength and muscle mass. The resistance typically is at 20 to 30% of the person's 1 rep maximum, with a 40% vascular occlusion. This is interesting because the American College of Sports Medicine recommends a 60 to 100% 1 rep maximum for increasing muscle hypertrophy. The light load resistance, BFR, stimulates greater increase in muscle strength than just resistance alone. The most successful combination was a high-load resistance training with low-load training with BFR. Like mentioned earlier, BFR can be used without resistance training, like walking. But BFR with resistance training proves to have better results. Although muscle hypertrophy was seen very early on, strength gains are not seen as early on in the studies. This suggests that neural impacts, like the motor recruitment of muscle fibers, does not happen until later on. A major topic while researching BFR training was the cardiovascular response. The study showed that for resistance, less than 60% of the 1 rep maximum has systolic and diastolic blood pressure increasing. The low-load BFR placed greater stress on vasculature than both low-load and high-load resistance alone. Multiple studies also looked at the rated perceived exertion, or RPE, to see how comfortable the participants felt and how strenuous they felt the exercises were. All of those studies showed that the BFR exercises produced a higher perceived exertion. However, one study went against the rest and found that at 30% 1 rep maximum and 70% vascular occlusion, the blood pressure could actually be reduced, and they suggested this as a hypertension prevention. So, what is great about this technique? The best part is that all of the research gives evidence that BFR produces muscle hypertrophy and muscle strength. This technique gives results faster and without the heavy resistance. It is a picture-perfect technique for the highly motivated individual. Because the resistance can be lighter, rehab may be able to start earlier. For example, athletes recovering from surgery could reduce the amount of muscle atrophy by beginning recovery sooner, or by simply using BFR strategies in the non-weight-bearing positions. Even though the perceived workload may be higher, these individuals want to get back to competing as soon as possible. It also can be helpful for populations like the elderly because it produces the same end results without the high load training. For older adults with issues like arthritis, this will be a much more doable rehab technique. So what are the red flags? Much of the research suggests that BFR training produces increased hypertension. Therefore, this may be a contraindicator if a patient has a history of high blood pressure. However, it is suggested that with patients that have this history, to monitor their blood pressure throughout the training session, regardless. So, in a controlled environment, it may still be safe regardless of the BFR factor. Because of the strain it places on the muscles, it is accompanied by more discomfort than traditional training approaches. It is unknown whether a healthy athlete would benefit more from this technique over a high-intensity workout. For these types of individuals, perhaps combining a low-load BFR exercises with the traditional high-load resistance exercises would be the most beneficial to reducing muscle hypertension. Looking ahead, there are a few things that come to mind. I believe that there needs to be a more long-term study that can look at the neural adaptations in muscle fiber recruitment that follows the hypertrophy. Research should also focus on specific populations, like those with osteoarthritis, reoccurring injuries, and different athlete levels. In conclusion, blood flow resistance training is a good training tool to get muscle hypertrophy and strength. It seems that the best way to approach it is to use a variety of training techniques and build a well-rounded rehabilitation program. Although the population it can adhere to may be a limiting factor, the entire patient situation must be evaluated. The therapy can even be progressed from patients who are bedbound to walking to low-load exercise, all using the BFR technique, and then eventually get them to a high-load exercise without the BFR. And, like all new approaches, more research is needed to move forward to produce the best results.